Richard, how are you?
I'm doing great, Randy. How about yourself?
Man, I've had a lot of coffee. I am doing terrific today. I am looking forward to the holidays, and there's not enough coffee in the world to be able to keep me going. But it's great. Today I think we were going to talk about the gift of a mentor. So let's delve into that.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things I think, at least it was one of the hardest things for me to do when I was teaching, was to have someone else watch me teach. I did it a lot because I just kept hearing my friends and colleagues say that's the thing we need to do. And so I did it a lot, and usually ended up being, just if I'm being brutally honest, I'd be pretty depressed afterwards. I'd need to go seek therapy afterwards, but it was the best thing I ever did as I taught, because I really learned something. I mean, it's one thing to study and to be ready to go out in front of your kids, but to have someone who you really respect come in and watch you teach and make suggestions about what you can do better. There is no better way to get to learn, and to grow as a conductor, as a teacher, as a musician. So I think it's so important that we all have someone, or maybe two someones, that we can count on when we get stuck or when we get into problems, that we can rely on to help us a little bit.
Absolutely. I think we all have, as musicians, a little bit of imposter syndrome built into our DNA. Don't feed that. Feed the fuel of continued learning, if nothing else, and understand that, Richard, myself, all of the folks out there that have taught a long period of time are still learning. The best teachers are still learning. So continue to do that, and don't feel inadequate when you bring somebody in. I mean, if you already have self-doubt, it's going to still be there regardless. So just bring somebody in and let them give you a different perspective, if nothing else. I mean, I felt exactly the same way when I would bring people in as a young teacher. I'd just be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that they're listening to this right now, and can't believe that I missed this and I missed that. But I finally got to a point where I would sit back in the back of the room and take notes. And I was talking to a clinician the other day, and they said, a lot of times directors bring in clinicians and they think they're bringing them in for their students, when actually they need to be bringing them in for themselves and their students. If your students are seeing that you're bringing somebody in to help you and that you're learning with them, then they're going to work harder too, don't you think?
Absolutely. And a couple other things to think about too, guys. This is the holiday season, and we get overwhelmed a lot of times as teachers during that time of year, and at any time during the year. We'll go through periods where we'll be a little depressed, or we'll be a little down on ourselves. There is no better way to get out of that than to start making progress. Making progress is one of the things that will light you up quicker than anything. And one great way to make progress is to have someone make suggestions to you, that from their experience and from their background. And so I think having someone come in will lift you up. You might feel at first like it's putting you down, but most people in our profession are not like that. If you're asking them to come in to help, they're going to come in to help. And they're not going to be criticizing, but hopefully they're going to be honest, and hopefully you're going to listen to what they have to say. And I'll tell you something else, Randy, too. I'm getting ready here in a week or two to go visit a school that I visited a couple times in the past. And every time I go to the school, I can't believe how much better the group is. And it's not because of me. I'm just one of many clinicians that they bring in, but because this director does that, they just continue to get better and better. When I first went in there, I mean, I felt like it was a really, really weak program. Well, now they're getting ready to play for their state convention. There's all these great things happening. So bring people in, have a mentor, and don't be afraid to admit what you don't know. That's one of the strongest things we can do as a human being, is just to realize what our strengths and weaknesses are, but not to whine about our weaknesses, to do something about them.
Yep. And so don't live on someday I'll bring a clinician in. Live on, I'm going to make my New Year's resolution to bring a mentor in. and start taking care of myself as an educator and my students, and continue to move to improve every day. Well, thanks so much, Richard, for your time this morning. And thanks everybody for joining us. Please join us again next week for another Tuesday morning coffee talk.
Thanks, Randy. Take care, everyone.